Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Well, we have something interesting here. We have Biden losing astronomically. It is a crushing defeat. It is not even great. Now, don't get me wrong. We can be hopeful, right? We can be hopeful that Trump wins and we don't go into a death spiral and lose our country. Therefore, if a Democrat gets taken place. However, this is extremely promising because of the mere fact that it was Joe Biden losing to pretty much no one. Oh yes, he is taking the Nikki Haley route, where she lost to pretty much no one in Nevada, and she is raging and complaining about it. That's right. She is very angry about losing to pretty much nobody, and Joe Biden is doing just the same. We have this. Michigan's 100,000 uncommitted votes challenge Biden's Israel stance. This is devastating, boys and girls. Because this is just not like a normal thing here. If you're losing like a Michigan by that amount, it's insane. And it wasn't just this either. Biden loses to Trump by over 100,000 plus votes. In the primary. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't to where, like in November, where all of it starts to matter, and who votes for who, but regardless, if you have, normally when you have primaries, you would want something close to neck to what their actual constituents or whatever want to have, right? Or at least voted for you, and that wasn't the case for Biden. So what we have here is that President Joe Biden's re-election campaign faces an arduous task, uniting his party after Michigan Democrats waged a massive protest vote over his support of Israel's military campaign against Hamas in Gaza. With 90% of the votes counted, Biden won Tuesday's primary with 81%, but 13% or more than 100,000 people cast uncommitted ballots in a state where a large Arab American community and other progressive Democrats vented their anger at Biden's support of Israeli offensive in which tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed. Now, I understand that when it comes down to Michigan and the Arabs and stuff like that, it's not really a Trump-favored state in that regard, right? I understand. So it doesn't mean, in my opinion, it doesn't mean all that much for Trump in regards to Michigan, because when Biden loses to people just simply by the means of the fact of, just by the means of the fact that it was a Democratic stronghold, or not, I wouldn't say Democratic stronghold, but by his Democratic constituents, they just decided not to vote for him. That's great for at least Trump, because that means they're not going to vote for Biden, but they're not going to vote for Trump either, so it's kind of like a neutral. So you're mostly going to have to rely on the Republicans or the conservatives or what have you, or the neutral people to vote for Trump. But again, this is near the here or there. And it says neither Biden nor Vice President Kamala Harris mentioned Gaza or Israel in their statements on Michigan's results, and omission that drew criticism from organizers of the uncommitted vote effort. Now, it gets a little bit worse here, because we have this, that uncommitted trounces Biden in Dearborn presidential primary. And it is a defeat worth mentioning here, because, again, this is what Trump has, right? Trump had a total votes of 700,058, and that is by no stretch small margin. Whereas the Democratic one for Joe Biden here, as you can see, he wins, but uncommitted it was by 101,000. So, it was the uncommitted. And we have this here with the total votes. Look at this here. Biden has 623,000, but the total votes for Trump in the Republican area is 758,000. So as I said, it's like over 100,000 plus people that that chose Donald Trump. Now we have some other nefarious things here that is going on with Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley goes on to say here, Nikki Haley argues Trump not getting 40% of primary voters is clue he'd lose to Biden. I don't necessarily know about that one, because Nikki Haley you piece of garbage, you haven't really won any state. You lost to your own state, to Trump, by a decent margin, and that is terrible for you. That is absolutely atrocious. You cannot be losing to your own state to somebody that, you were once governor in. That's not a good look. It says former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley keeps losing to Donald Trump by double digits, but the fact that the former president has only managed to reach 60% of the vote in the contested races so far should be taken as a warning sign, Haley said on Monday. Donald Trump, as technically the Republican incumbent, did not win 40% of the vote, she said in a gaggle with reporters while on the trail one day before Michigan's Republican primary. So what are you looking at is something is shifting, and this has been happening for a while. Haley was reiterating an argument she has been making more and more, including the previous night in Troy, Michigan, that even though she has yet to win a state in the race for the Republican presidential nomination and her path to catching Trump looks all but gone, a notable minority of conservative voters are signaling that they want someone other than Trump and they deserve an alternative. And she says, I know 40% is not 50%, but I also know 40% is not some tiny group, she said on Saturday after losing her home state of South Carolina. Again, I don't really want to believe these reports for a little bit here, but let's just say it was just true in the remarkable things, right? Nikki Haley, I hate to break it to you, but all your supporters are Democrats. They're not Republicans. So when people go and support you, Nikki Haley, it's Democrats supporting you. It's not even the right base of people that are supporting you. So what you say is completely invalid. So it goes on to say, we have more here. And this is just something we have with, oh boy. See, this is the reason why I hate things like this. Because we gotta do this. Gotta do this. Because, they're just things like this. It's just really, really annoying. So, let's go ahead here. Hopefully I don't have to, this doesn't take too long. So, yeah. So, we have this here, right? So, it says, top Democratic donor Reid Hoffman gives $250,000 to a Nikki Haley super PAC. So, again, Nikki Haley, what are you doing exactly? I cannot stand this woman with a burning passion, right? I cannot stand this woman. When Jamie Dimon, the chief executive of J.P. Morgan Chase, urged Democratic donors last week to rally behind Nikki Haley to provide Republican donors an alternative to former President Donald J. Trump, it seemed a far-fetched plea. But it's one of the Democratic biggest financiers has already done exactly that. Reid Hoffman, the billionaire co-founder of LinkedIn and a major Democratic donor, recently gave $250,000 to a super PAC supporting Miss Haley, the former South Carolina governor who has gained momentum in recent weeks in 2024 Republican primary race. And there has been multiple times where there have been voters there have been voters on camera or on video, whatever you want to do it, has voted for Nikki Haley. Or say they were going to go vote for Nikki Haley, and they were Democrat. So, Haley, I don't think the 40% really represents what you're saying here, because that 40% may just be the 40% that goes for Democrats, not the Republicans, which therefore doesn't really matter, because if they're voting for you, that means Trump wasn't getting them in the first place. So, I don't know where you're going with this. It's stupid, it's dumb, you're an idiot, and, yeah, I don't know what are you doing. But Trump may be leading to win this election, but we don't know for entirely sure. It's all up in the air, but the signs are looking promising. I'll try to keep you guys up to date with some of this stuff as time goes on. These are not one of my biggest and highest ones on the value here, but I figured I should let everybody know, especially some of the bigger hitting topics that I've kind of been avoiding, because I don't like doom and gloom too much on this channel, but sometimes I have to report it, just kind of get you guys what to be aware of, so you're not hit by something random, and you're talking about, like, whoa, I didn't hear about this. So I'll be most likely doing that next week, definitely Monday. So hope you guys stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.